Well, thank you, Pastor Jay. And I just want to say thank you, New Covenant Church, for the work that you're doing, not just here in Oklahoma, but around the world. It's really cool to be a ministry partner with you all, and thank you for the invitation today as well. And I want to thank our Wings Bell Choir and especially the volunteers who headed up all week long, Shauna Olson and Sharon Parrish. Thank you, ladies, for highlighting our members' abilities and then also making a place for them to share with others. All right, so the Wings mission is to enhance the lives of adults with developmental disabilities through social, vocational, and residential programs guided by principles of the Bible. And as myself and our board chair talk through a few slides today, I hope that you can clearly see how you all are impacting lives at Wings. We support our members socially. They come together at Wings Monday through Friday. Vocationally, we have many opportunities for them to learn vocational skills to increase their independence. And then we have an educational model beneath everything that we do. Our future vision is an adult community living. So let me tell you about our history. And Kayla is right over here in the congregation. So in 2004, several families had a like-minded burden, and that is, what opportunities are there after high school for our children born with developmental disabilities? They formed a 501c3, began a day program with a handful of young adults. They started different programs, and today we have 93 adults in our full-time Monday through Friday program. And because of churches like you and because of our entire state, their lives are more meaningful, which impacts their entire family as well. Our members' ages are 18 to 72 years old. You see, I'm not the oldest one at Wings any longer. Our oldest member is thriving. Her sister found Wings for her, and she adds a lot to Wings. So you don't necessarily graduate from Wings, but you may retire from Wings because you're simply too tired to get out of the house anymore. And so our next slide, and I'm sorry I forgot to ask you to advance. Okay, so let me tell you about our members. We are diverse like no other, and we don't even try. God puts our members where they need to be. And so 42% were born with Down syndrome, 21% were diagnosed with an intellectual disability, 19% have autism, and 18% have rare syndromes that most of us have never heard of. So you see, we're diverse that way. We're diverse culturally, in our religion, in their age, in their gender. We're just like the United Nations, and our members support one another beautifully. And you see, our members depend on the greater community. 1 Peter 4:10 says, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful servants of God's grace in its various forms. Our volunteers, our leaders, they give in so many different ways from the gifts that God has given them. Next slide. So our reach and our impact. Like I mentioned, we have 93 members that we serve through our day program. We have 11 families on the wait list that we're working to onboard. And the Wings difference that I'll share with you in just a minute is our nonprofit partners. You're one of them. We have 107 nonprofit partners that make Wings work special like it is. We have 19 different programs for our members to choose from. You see, we don't tell them what they have to do. They all have different abilities, different needs, and different interests. So we let them choose their programs for a semester. And through the work that our members do, in 2025, they impacted 60,899 individuals through the hygiene, emergency food kits, and snack kits that they assemble and donate. You see, Wings isn't a self-serving nonprofit. Our members are selfless, they are serving others, and again, because of that, their lives are more meaningful. Well, on the next slide, please. When Wings asked me to consider applying for their open position as executive director, I pondered and prayed over the verse from Matthew 25:40. The king will reply, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters, you did for me. Well, so again, Wings asked me to leave what I was doing and come and apply for the opening. And so as I reflected back on what God calls us to do, and then our Uncle Stevie. This is Uncle Stevie. And you see, he was born the youngest of 6 children. He had a lot of abilities. He wanted to be like his older brothers and sisters that he watched coordinate lives, find friendships. He watched them learn to drive. He watched them graduate from high school and move on, go to college, get a job, get married, start a family. And so on Sundays, when our family would gather for family dinners, Stevie would always say, Cheri, they let me work today. They let me work today. You see, he has abilities, and he has a purpose, and he wanted to make a difference. So Uncle Stevie has passed away, yet I pondered and prayed over why shouldn't I use my background to bring hope to families today, hope to families in the future, to bring purpose to our members' lives, and to build a community and help them be in a community. Next slide, please. And I've been at Wings now for 10 years. So let me share a mission moment with you. This is my friend Aiden. I met him when he was in 4th grade, and I was his children's pastor. You see the picture on your right? That is Aiden's mom, his aunt, his little sisters, and myself. I'm in the middle, and we did the Memorial Marathon relay. And so I just met the family. Like I said, they were at our church, and his family, his parents were struggling to find the best meaningful place for him in school. All right, so I got to visit with him. Actually, I started tutoring Aiden, and then you see, fast forward, that's me and Aiden and the blue T-shirts. They made Team Walsh T-shirts, and they asked me to run in his relay this particular year, and he was in high school at the time. Then fast forward, there's the young man, Aiden, and now he's at Wings. Never dreamed when I first met him. First of all, that he would need Wings, and secondly, that we would be together again. So that's the way that God is working through the ministry of Wings, through our families, and New Covenant, you're part of it. Next slide, please. So how is Wings different? There's several other great programs for adults born with developmental disabilities. Yet at Wings, our program model is different. Next slide, please. And that's through cross-collaboration. Do you see any logos up there that perhaps you're familiar with? Our families serve all of these our members serve all of these nonprofits. That's 107 other nonprofits that our members are giving back to, either going over to their space and volunteering many times a week, or they're building kits at Wings and then they go donate them. So it's our cross-collaboration that's the Wings difference. Our members they're in ministry. They're giving back, serving others that otherwise we would not be able to serve. So I have another mission moment. The next slide. This is my buddy Preston. Preston is right over here. Yep, he's a strong man. Thank you, Preston. Preston probably doesn't remember, but when he was just a little guy, I was made aware of his family because our daughter was a cheerleader and he was their mascot. He might have been a self-proclaimed mascot, but he stole the show at every football game. As he would run out, those cheerleaders would welcome him, and he did the cheers with them. So that was my first knowing of Preston. Then fast forward, his family started a pumpkin patch, and I took my preschoolers to the pumpkin patch, and I heard this lady share the gospel about pumpkins. I mean, through pumpkins and how they're all unique, and some have blemishes and some are beautiful, but God sees them all as purposeful. And I just thought, wow, I'd like to be with her someday. So way fast forward, I come to Wings, and there they are, the Olson family, Gary and Shauna and Preston. And so now I'm with Preston every day as well. And Preston has so much ability. You could see through the bell choir today, and then he can recite scripture like none other, and so much other. Thank you, Preston. Next slide, please. All right, so another difference about Wings is our founder set us up to be privately funded. We don't engage in the state or the federal government. So we're the only privately funded day program and social club for adults with disabilities in Oklahoma. And because that we are privately funded, then we do depend on the generosity of Oklahomans' time and resources. And a fun fact that we discovered a few summers ago, we did some research, and we called all of the metro area high schools to find out how many students they have in their special ed programs and maybe what Wings needs to plan forward for. Anyway, we found out that there are 400 students enrolled in metro area special ed high school programs. And so right now, our members that come to our day program, they come from as further south than of Norman. They come from Guthrie, Yukon, Piedmont, Choctaw, Jones. Our members come from 5 different counties to be a part of our day program. You see, their lives are more meaningful, and they make all of our lives more meaningful as well. All right, so how is Wings funded? Next slide, please. 49% of our budget is raised through fundraisers, events, and donations from churches, from individuals, from corporations, from schools, from foundation grants. And then 25% comes from tuition. 12% of that is grants of our annual budget, and then 14% is our social enterprise. We operate an event venue, and it's our way of employing our members who want to earn a paycheck. Next slide. So for my last mission moment, I hope you can follow along with me. It was last fall, and we were getting ready for our annual fall festival at Wings. It's our greatest community outreach. And we had a semi-load of pumpkins coming, and we needed help emptying the semi so that the Fall Festival Committee, they could do their thing and open the Fall Festival. So we asked one of our corporate partners if they would consider bringing out their team. So they closed their doors for the morning, and they had 250 volunteers show up at Wings so that they could empty the semi for us. They all wanted a tour. They wanted a tour of our programs to see what was going on inside that building. So what we didn't know at the time is this young mom in the picture, Morgan, would be a mom looking to Wings for hope for the future. You see, she toured our programs, and she left with some hope, thinking fast forward to her little girl, Brindley. So Brindley's the little girl in the picture. She's a darling little girl. She was born 4 years ago after a normal pregnancy. She failed the hearing test in the hospital, which led to more tests and more tests and more tests. And her parents discovered that their little girl had a rare syndrome. She might not walk, she might not talk, she might not be able to feed herself. All right, fast forward to the next day. Our fall festival opened, and I got a call. I was up in my office working, and I got a call to come meet someone out there in the fall festival, and it was Morgan. You see, she had been part of the team unloading the pumpkins the day before. She had been one of the people who asked for a tour. And then she brought her little girl, Brinley, to our fall festival. As I got to know Morgan a little bit more, and my heart was tugged more and more to bring hope to her for the future, I discovered that Dad passed away suddenly 2 years ago. So New Covenant, we and the rest of the state of Oklahoma, would you join us in supporting the families that we've not even met yet? Because Wings is here to stay, and our families are going to need us. And for today, we can bring hope to moms like Morgan and a bright future to little girls like Brinley. At this time, I would like to invite Brian Russell, the chairman of our board at Wings. You see, we are blessed with such an awesome leadership team, and we don't have enough wisdom on our board to operate, on our staff to operate without a dynamic board of directors. So would you help me welcome Brian Russell?
Thank you, Cheri. She'll hate me for this, but she's what makes Wings work. Cheri puts her entire life into that organization. So as Cheri said, my name is Brian Russell. I've had the pleasure of serving as board chair for Wings for the last 2.5 years. But I want to tell you why I got involved with Wings. I can give the credit to my youngest daughter, who at the time was just out of college. She's 36 now. She was on our Young Professionals board. We have 3 boards, actually. We've got a teen board, so if you have teenagers that are interested in getting involved with something like this, we have a teen board which helps us out and serves, and when we have programs, they come and help us set up and clean up and things like that. We have a Young Professionals board, which is made up of young adults that are out of college, have jobs, and just want to have purpose in life and give back a little bit to the community. And then, of course, we have what I refer to as the old folks board. So, but my youngest daughter was a part of the Young Professionals board. My wife and I did not know a whole lot about Wings at the time, except for the fact that it was just a special needs organization. She was in charge one year of one of our 2 largest fundraisers, which is called Wingin' It, that's held down at the Criterion. So, like a good parent, my wife and I bought a table for 8 people. We invited 3 other couples to come and join us at our table and just thought this will be a great time, barbecue. They let us wear cowboy hats and blue jeans and have a good time. We get there, and the program starts, and Cheri gets up and speaks. And then they bring up some of the families, like some of the ones that Cheri pointed out to you a few minutes ago on the slides. And when you look at what some of these families have been through and the love and the care that they have for their kids, it breaks your heart, but it also fills your heart with joy. And I looked at my wife that night and I said, I was getting close to retirement at the point, and I said, we've got to get involved with this. This is too good of a thing to be true. So I made the either right move or got that nudge from God, or some people will laugh at this, the mistake of mentioning to Cheri Weaver that I wanted to get involved when I retired. And don't mention that to Cheri unless you're serious about it, because she's going to make sure you get involved. But it's been a blessing in my life beyond anything I could ever imagine. I do get to spend quite a bit of time at Wings throughout the week, but I can promise you this. I get far more out of being there than what I can ever give to the organization. And you can imagine getting to spend time with these young adults over here that are just bring a blessing to your life. They bring us hope for the future, hope that for people and individuals that might not fit into today's society, what we refer to that box of normal, okay? But I'm going to quote one of our founding families that's tremendous for our organization. I heard Greg Olson say one time at one of our ribbon cuttings. He looked over at all of our members and he said, "Don't ever let anybody tell you your special needs. You are truly special gifts from God." And that's the way I look at it. These individuals live the life that Jesus Christ would want us all to live. They don't worry. They don't wake up wondering what's going to happen that day. They wake up and all they want is a hug, and they want to go see their friends at Wings. So they bring purpose to our lives, but we also bring purpose to theirs, and they have a sense of community. One quick story. I happened to be at Wings the morning. They get off for a couple of weeks over the Christmas holidays, and I happened to be at Wings that morning for a meeting when all of them were coming back and their families were dropping them off after being gone for 2 weeks. To see the joy in these adults' faces as they saw their friends that they hadn't seen for 2 weeks, it just opens your heart to realize what love truly is. They live the life again that Jesus Christ would want us all to live. Next slide, please. So we're here to help them maximize their abilities. You saw some of the abilities today. The first time I saw our bell choir play, I was blown away. There is no way in the world I could stand up there in timing without the two instructors pointing at me saying, "It's your turn to do this." I could never have done it. They're amazing, and that's just one small example of what they do. We want to help them maximize their potential, but we also want to challenge them to do more. One of the greatest compliments that Cheri and her staff can get throughout the week is when a parent comes up and says, he or she is doing something we never dreamed they would be able to do. And let's call it what it is, and I hope the parents don't get upset at me when I say this. It's like coaching your child in t-ball. They're going to listen to somebody else a little better than they're going to listen to you sometimes. So we hope that we can bring that, our staff can bring that to some of the individuals here that mom and dad just can't get across to them sometimes. And we've seen that happen. Next slide, please. We truly function off of volunteers. You heard Cheri mention volunteers. We're in probably 200 or 300 volunteers that make our organization work. Cheri has a staff of about 21 individuals that work full-time at our organization. But it's volunteers and people like you that really make our organization work Monday through Friday. A lot of ways to get involved. A lot of people get involved. You can see almost half of them are involved with our events. 15% part of our day program. 14% become a part of some of our committees, and then 21% of some of our groups that get involved with our organizations and help them go out throughout the community. We'll talk a little bit more about this as I wrap up here in a few minutes, but if you're interested in getting involved, first thing I would challenge you to do is come tour our facilities and see what a beautiful community that we have, that God has blessed us with, and then you'll see, your heart will be guided as to where God wants you to be involved with the organization. Next slide. All right, Cheri, you must have put this picture in there because she knows I'm an OSU fan. She's a Sooner, but we do get along. So the future of Wings. Let me tell you a brief story before we advance to the next slide. We had our first building. Many of you probably drove by it on your way to church. The first building, or the most recent building that we were in, was a rented space down Boulevard here, down on off of Eastern and Memorial. It was about 7,000 square feet. We literally were busting out at the seams, and we were limited to the number of members that we could take on. I think we were capped out right around 70 to 80 members. Cheri's staff, this was an old home that had been converted into this program facility for us. Cheri had staff members actually officing in what were closets in this building. So the board took it upon ourselves to say, hey, we've got to do something. We've got a waiting list of families that need our support, and there's nothing worse for a board member or for Cheri and her staff to have to look at a family and tell them, we simply don't have room. We would love to have you and your child, but we don't have room. So we went out, and this will tell you a little bit about the state that we're all blessed to live in the state of Oklahoma. And over just shy of 3 years, we raised $22 million to go out and to build a new community on 75 acres off of Wilshire Boulevard down here. And about 18 months ago, we moved into a 37,000 square foot beautiful program building called the Greg and Sandra Olson program facilities. Next slide. So where do we go from here? Well, tomorrow we have our ribbon cutting on the upper right building, from my perspective, upper right, on the dining hall. It will be used as a multi-purpose building. Right now, the members are eating in a big physical fitness room downstairs at our program building. We'll have a beautiful new dining hall that we're cutting the ribbon for tomorrow. The week after that, we'll cut the ribbons, have a ribbon cutting on the bike barn and our first residential home. Because as Cheri mentioned in our mission statement, these families that formed, the founding families that formed this organization, worried about what was going to happen to their child or to their nephew or niece when they could no longer take care of them or when they passed on from this earth. We have the ability now to house our members that want to live full-time on our campus, and we will move in our first 4 members in August of this year. So the founders' dreams are truly coming true. Next slide, please. We also have a social club. You do not have to be a part of our day program to be a member of our social club. If you want to get involved, or if the church or your Sunday school class would like to get involved and sponsor one of our social clubs, we would love to have you. You want to have some fun? Show up at one of our social clubs. We do these monthly on a Sunday evening from 5 to 7. We have a themed dinner and dance. We have DJs. Sometimes we have bands. And if you want to see some people that love to dance, come watch our members dance. But don't show up thinking you're going to sit in the corner like you did in the 8th grade at a sock hop and think that you're going to be able to get out of dancing with us. That's right. We had our last social club, I believe, was last Sunday evening, wasn't it, Cheri? And so we'll continue to move forward with those. But one of the reasons for the social club is to, get our members together and let them have some fun outside of the day program. But probably just as important, if not more so, it gives their mom and dad or their caretakers a little bit of a break. They can have a date night. They can go out to dinner. They can go home and just watch something on TV without having children around, which most of us get blessed to do that when we become empty nesters. You see, these families, some of them never become empty nesters. These children will be living with most of them for the rest of their lives, and they wouldn't have it any other way. Mom and dad didn't. But they need breaks just like the rest of us do. So the social club will allow them to have some breaks as well. Next slide. So how can you get involved? Obviously, we talked about volunteers, donations. As Cheri mentioned, we're 100% privately funded. We don't rely on state government funds to help our day program or help our programs survive. And you can go to our website at wingsok.org. We've got a lunch tour. I can't read that. Let me see here. Oh, our next lunch tour is August the 6th from 11:30 to 12:30. Call us over there or go online and sign up. We provide lunch. Chick-fil-A is generous enough to us that they provide lunch for us at our lunch tours. You get to see our beautiful facility. And I promise you, once you get there, you will see Jesus Christ at work, okay? And when I think of our members, I'll close with this. I always go back to one of my favorite scriptures, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. So on behalf of our entire board of directors, thank you all so much for inviting us and letting us tell you a little bit about our organization. If you don't have the ability or the time to help us out, volunteering or donations or anything like that, we ask for one more thing. Pray that God continues to bless this organization and bless our leadership so that we do what's pleasing to Him in His sight. Thank you all.